Hello everybody, what's going on? My name is Sir Medieval and today we're going to be playing some Justice Online. I've got to say that this is probably my absolute favorite Chinese MMORPG that I've played so far. When it comes down to Sword of Legends, Moonlight Blade, and Justice Online, I've got to say this is probably my top favorite. Just the sheer amount of stuff that you're able to do in this game, the sheer amount of beauty that it has in its world itself, just all about it is just fantastic. I'm going to try to do my best to cover everything in this one video if we can. But first, let's go ahead and talk about what we're doing here. There are a lot of dailies that you can do in the game once you get high up in level. And this is actually one of them. This is an escort mission that I'm doing for a rich man. Now, the combat of the game is very similar to, like, of course, Moonlight Blade and Sword of Legends, where it's mostly Wuxia or Wushu based. So it's very action related. You can see is that character is wonderfully, oh my God, wonderfully showcasing. Okay, show off. Relax. Mine looks much, much less impressive, but gonna try my best. I got a Falcon Punch move. That's cool, right? Also, because we were playing, from not China, our ping is not the greatest, which I'm not going to use that as an excuse. I'm just saying, I'd imagine some of his ping helped there and how cool that looked. Dear God. That's actually the great sword class. There's actually multiple different classes that you're able to play in this game. Some of them seem to be more related to other, actual schools that you'd see in a Wushu-based game. Like, for instance, if you played Age of Wushu, you might see some similarities to, like, BEGGAR, Royal Guard, WUDANG, TANGMEN, things like that. This one, I would probably compare closely to the BEGGAR, even though I don't think it's a BEGGAR quite at all. But it is the tank of the game, though, and it's very cool to play. There we go. Had to finish that up. Get right back on the quest. But essentially, this game has a lot of different features, and the way that it works is that when you get into the game, you pick your class, and then since it's a Chinese game, of course, it's kind of hard to read everything and go through everything, but there's a Discord where a lot of people are there to help you with answering questions and things of that nature. But as you level up, it's pretty much just, you going around talking to people. There's little fighting, I will admit. First off, when you get into the game, you'll find that leveling up is very, very quick. Like, to get to about, I'd say 30 or 40 probably takes you about 3 hours or so. It goes really fast, really, really fast. And once you get to that stage, then you start getting introduced to, like, the dailies and also the battlegrounds for PvP and stuff like that, which PvP at endgame, that's the best way to level up and the best way to progress, mostly progressing as opposed to level up. Dailies is a really good way to get experience for leveling up. And then also you've got to consider your skills as well. The way that the skill system works is that you get access to, so you get like 10 different skills on your bar. And then you have a left side where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you have a right side where it's Q, E, R, C, C, V. And then these two sides right here, these are the letter keys right here. So you can basically choose these to select and put on your bar here. Or you can, it depends on which skill it is, but you might be able to take away from these other different types of skills too. But essentially you can only have 5 of each type kind of thing. So that forces you, because there's more than 5 on each side, to kind of choose how you want to play. And then also you can level these skills up, which is something that's needed because, of course, at first it's automatically leveling you up whenever you get to like level 15 or something like that from level 14. Once this green bar goes all the way, you're just automatically going to level up. But it's in a state right now where if I want to level up at the moment, I'd have to go in here, click this yellow button right here. And it's not going to work right now because I have to complete my main storyline, which I have to get to level 50. Well, actually, I'm on level 56 for my main quest line right now. I have to get past the level 60 stuff, which we're going to do in just a little bit here. But essentially, I'm not able to level up until I do that. But when you're first starting off and you're getting from like 30 to 40, you're going to find a different message popping up there. And that one is going to be saying something along the lines of you need X amount of something, which is going to mean your skill points. Once you see a number there, that's going to give you like a highlighted area to auto path to, which is something that's really useful in this game, and you have to get used to it. Basically, this is one of the only instances where people are going to be very okay with auto pathing, because since we can't read everything when it comes to these quest lines and stuff like that, we obviously have to auto path to where they go. But this will give you a place to auto path to. It'll bring you to your class's school, and that will allow you to actually level up at the trainer. There's a lot of different mechanics that go into Justice Online, and it's not at the moment announced to be coming to the West, but it's really a game that a lot of people are hoping will come to the West at some point. The game itself is probably about a year plus old. It released in 2018, if I remember right. And so far it's got a really big population, just like Sword of Legends and Moonlight Blade. In terms of popularity, this is like the third most popular, Sword of Legends being first, Moonlight Blade second, and then this one. So even though, and then there is one other one in between there, but even though, you know, the game itself is third in popularity, because it's China, they have a lot of people that, you know, play these kinds of games, and they don't have a lot of them to go around. So this is definitely going to be one that would be considered by our standards to be very popular. And the next thing I wanted to talk about was some of the other features that you have access to in Justice Online. And of course, notably speaking, the housing system. Now this is one that's of course going to be pretty difficult to get into at first, but don't worry about this because there's going to be some material coming out later in terms of how to get into this and what you want to do here in terms of this housing zone. But essentially the way it works is, and this is actually probably one of the best housing zones that I've ever seen, or like housing systems that I've ever seen, because there's a lot of stuff that you can customize. And just to kind of go over here, this is all the space that you have access to when it comes to building, at least all the space that you have right off the bat. And then over here, this is more about actual resource production and things of that nature. They call this the industrial zone over here. And this is where you can go to your farm. And once I put it down, I could probably, you know, get a lumber mill, or like I think it's a metalsmith refinery actually. Yeah, metal refinery. But I can come over here and harvest this wheat, and I might be able to donate this to my settlement, or my house I mean, but I have to wait and see if I can figure that out first. But to open up the building menu, you want to come right up here, click on that button right away, and then as you can see, there's so many different types of things that you can create. So here, this is just like housing, right? Like housing wise, you can put down new buildings and stuff like that, all kinds of stuff. And some of it you can't preview because you have to unlock it by leveling up your estate. But even though there is some stuff that actually will allow you to preview it, and you can even purchase it in the cash shop, that is something that can happen. You can, you know, some of the buildings and things like that you can purchase in the shop, and some of them you just unlock by leveling up the estate. And there is actually a resource tab at the very top here where you can actually put down resource related buildings. Like if I wanted to go in here to this part, and then I can place down this, which is the animal husbandry zone right here. I didn't know that at first until Mishka translated that for me. Thank you so much, Mishka. And then there's another one right here. I believe this is the windmill. This is going to be related to farming, as I understand. I didn't translate this one fully though. But there's different kinds of resource production places that you can put down. Like this would be the metal refinery and things of that nature. And then I'm pretty sure it would attribute to this bar up here where all these resources are. But that's going to take some testing for sure to find out and make sure, you know, we're doing the right thing there. But when you click on this option here, you can check through like all the different types of buildings and stuff like that you can place down. And not just the buildings, but you can also go through the furniture section. This is the NPC section right here. Let me see if I can find that for you really quick. You've got these big like summer vacation homes that you can put down, and you can actually raise the elevation, raise and lower it as you want. Things like that. Looks really cool there. And you can build bridges. I think you might be able to build a bridge across this. I'm going to definitely try it out when I can, of course. But you can place down, you know, trees and bushes and things of that nature to decorate your house. There's some really incredible houses that I have seen and want to show you. Probably pick a random one and hope for the best. But I'll show you a couple houses while we're doing this stuff. And then you get to the furniture section right here where you can place down just miles and miles of stuff here. You go to the second tab and you can take a look at like all the rugs, the chairs, and stuff like that you can place down, tables. There's not a huge variety on this section here, but once you get to like the beds and whatnot. Who's that? Oh god, that's Mishka. I was like, wait a minute, what are you doing here? Okay, but once you get in here, you can actually take a look at the furniture and stuff like that. I thought she was an NPC at first, and I noticed the red dress. I believe this might be looks like a bookshelf, but I don't think that can be used as a... Yeah, that's a bookshelf or something like that. There's no way that's a gate. Anyway, there's a lot of different furniture items that you can place down, but most of it does come down to like the buildings and stuff like that. You can place the decorations. There's a lot of stuff to look through and test out. Leveling up the estate wise, that's something that is going to have to be figured out over time. These are the bridges that I was talking about as well that I want to place down. I hope we can place it down over here. I don't know. You can just jump across, of course, but it would be nice if you could actually place a bridge down. I'm sure there's got to be some way for that, or maybe they don't allow it. But I want to show you guys some houses and like how they look when they're fully designed. Okay, let's go take a look at some of these houses really quick. Here we go. And if you're wanting to go to this NPC4 housing, I'll be happy to show you later. More than happy, actually. But if we bring up this menu right here, this allows us to go into the menu where we can take a look at everybody else's houses. Now, as I understand it, I would imagine that there's guild housing. I mean, there's a lot to this game to understand. There's a whole hell of a lot. But I would imagine that there is some sort of guild housing system, and this is just like all the individual houses that we can select. So if I go for this one, for instance, we can take a look at how many different ones there are here. And then let's see if I can... Yeah, these ones look pretty good. So I think these are going to tell us like how high the points are and stuff like that. This one might be one that people are bidding on right now. And this coin currency, that's something that you actually earn in-game and in various different ways, including dailies. And you can also get that through events. And also, when you get your first manor or your baseline house, you can actually get the coins farmed through that. And then after that, you'll be able to actually buy these locations and then own them yourselves. So let's take a trip over here. Let's see if it lets us here. Don't think it will. Okay. Oh, I think I'm teleporting. All right, let's take a visit and see what we got here. I might have to do about 1 or 2 of these if it doesn't look that... Oh my God. Look at this. I saw... Oh, it's not fully loaded in yet. I saw a really well-designed one. I mean, there's also not just, of course, furniture and stuff like that, but there's different terrain manipulation things you can do and stuff of that nature. You can put down NPCs and holy... I didn't even notice this flora, like all this flora you could put down. It's a complete transformation, basically, is what you can do here. Look at this. And I believe this one is just up for sale. I don't even know if anybody's actually taken this over yet. And then if we go to the industrial zone, I'm sure theirs is going to look a whole lot different than ours. I don't know if they'll have more zones available for building. They might. But as far as I saw, there was only 2 so far. Look at this. So this is where they'd have all their farms and stuff like that, place down the trees. Looks like we've got the... So this is what the animal husbandry stuff looks like. And also you've got the horse stables here and stuff like that. That looks like it's probably like literally all their horses. I don't know if this is a player's horse or not. I'm guessing it's not. But I think you might be able to actually unlock some of these horses through these either these stables, or you can definitely do it if you get enough coins. Looks like they've got a metal refinery right here. I know one of these is probably stone. I'm pretty sure this one is the stone one, but they've got the whole package here. And it's a good thing that we took a look at this too, because I believe this one's going to be the fishing yard. Look at just how much you can transform this place though. It's crazy. Fantastic. Yeah, because the industrial zone, that will start off with like a bunch of trees. It looks like there is another island over there that people are able to place stuff on, from what I'm getting. Yep, 100% looks like that. Yeah, but that's essentially like what a full-on house could look like. And there's many different designs. Like I've seen crazy ones. Like I've seen one that looked like an entire city. You know, the stuff that you can do. And that was before the update came out that allowed us to do the terrain manipulation. So now that we can do that, it's going to be looking so much crazier in terms of what kind of houses you're going to be getting access to. Let's take a look at one more. Also, if you didn't notice, I love the fact that the snow is just falling in the city now, even after the update that happened, because before that it was just mainly like autumn and, you know, fall stuff that was falling, and then you'd have leaves falling off the trees and stuff like that. But what's cool though is you can actually ragdoll these leaves. Like if I were to, I don't think it'll work right now, but if I were to like actually kick the leaves, it would actually like make them fly in the air and stuff like that. You can't see it that well because since there's snow on the ground now, the leaves are obviously not going to be, you know, not going to be able to be flying in the air and stuff like that. But it's a really cool mechanic that they have. There's so much attention to detail in this game graphically. It's very impressive. Very, very impressive. Let's take a look at one more here. And then after this, I kind of want to show you like how the PvP works and stuff like that, because there's a lot of cool things that you can do in this game. The recent update that they did put in actually allowed us to do different kinds of game modes. Now they've actually got, and I'm not even kidding here, they've got a PUBG Battle Royale mode where you can queue up as solo or with a team of 6. It's absolutely insane as well, because you can go in with like a pre-made party, and then you'll get matched up with people that are random, or you can go in solo. And the way that it works a lot similar to like Black Desert's Shadow Arena, where you jump in there, you have to find skills and equipment, and then you can change between classes and stuff like that in there. Your class that you come in with is not like locked to you. So it's a very interesting concept there, but it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. You can craft like siege engines and stuff like that, and all kinds of things that you can get. You can get mounts that are specifically just designed for that battle arena as well. And then there's also a Christmas event where it's like Dungeon Defenders, but in Christmas, where you put down snowmen to defend lanes and stuff like that. It's very fun. This one looks like it's less on the water side and more on the actual design side. This makes me so jealous, because I know that like at first glance, I'd have to go off some kind of, I'd have to go off of some kind of template if I wanted to build something even close to this, because just look at the attention to detail here. It's so impressive. I mean, I'm bad enough when it comes to, playing a game like Sims and trying to design my own house, but doing something like this is just out of this world, I gotta say. I mean, this is quite frankly one of the best building systems that I've seen in a game at all. I think they've got piggies over there. That's cute. Let's take a look at their industrial system before we move on as well. Look at that. That looks fantastic. I was actually watching a show not too long ago called, oh hey, he's got a log going to his. That's a start at least. Uh-oh, we're dead. Oh, never mind. I didn't have enough stamina. Excuse me. Oh boy. Don't do that. Don't be me when it comes to jumping and trying to fly. Just don't do what I do. Try not to. I love the flying though, so much. Okay, so this looks like it's a little bit different. Now the windmill I notice, or I would assume that's a windmill. That could totally be a different contraption now that I look at it actually. This, of course, the horse stables, animal husbandry. No, that looks like animal husbandry. Look at those. They're so cute. And that resource, I've seen that before. That, yeah, the same one that we get from this farm here. And then also we've got the stone quarry, it looks like, and all kinds of stuff there. Looks like I can activate these if I want to. Oh, so he's got teleports. That's really cool. He made custom teleports. These guys are always standing outside, but just look at how this transformed compared to the one that we had. It's just such a big transformation. It's crazy good on how it looks. I love it. But all right, let's go ahead and talk about like the PvP and what you're able to do there. All right, this is one of the main quests where we have to fight this this boss like character when we first get in here. I don't know why it wanted me to do this, because I don't remember this quest wanting me to go over here last time, but I got to take this guy down. Now, of course, we use exit lag when it comes to the ping reduction. There are some other programs that are looking into coming into this game as well in terms of ping reduction, like no ping. That one might be worth checking out as well for those of you who are looking to, get something new, or if you don't use the UU booster, which is basically NetEase's own ping killer that you can use. You can use, exit lag, or then if no ping is able to add it to theirs, that would be amazing as well. Looks like I'm going to get hit by something that I don't want to get hit by. So I'm going to activate my shield, please. Go. But it works well enough though. Like the servers will need improvement in terms of the exit lag ones at least. But so far, they're doing the job at least. They're doing the job. Let me use some heals because I got those earlier. Got those ready to go. Sweet. But the combat is just incredibly fast-paced, and the classes that are besides this one, are going to be incredibly more fast-paced. This one's just the tank. So anything that I show you here, a class that is using like the sword or the great sword, can do 3 times as fast. Now, me personally, I actually do have a level 60 of this character, of course, and then I also have the short sword class. That is my first level 60, my main. Currently, and that one is really fast. That one's more like a roguelike character where it has lightning fast techniques, not like the ones that you saw earlier when we were escorting that person, but they do have some stuff that's kind of close to it. Now it looks like that stuff's done. I could probably use that, maybe. Nice. And these are enhancement stones that I can use for my equipment, if I remember right, which are going to be very useful. Now I can just continue on my main storyline quest. I just have to get up to the level 61, and then I can, progress in levels from this point onward. That's what I'm looking for. But in terms of what you're able to do in the game itself, You'll notice that in the top right corner of your screen, during certain times of the day, you'll have a lot of different icons pop up. This is where you're able to queue for things like when they're actually open, things like 3v3s, the battlegrounds, that PUBG mode that I was talking about earlier. You'll be able to go into the 1v1 duels with either NPCs or other players. It could be players too, but it seems like they're mostly NPCs when it comes down to it. And then there's there's actually 1v1 duels that are completely separate from that as well. And then when it comes to the actual like your skills and learning and stuff like that and going to your actual class school, that's something that you can do as well, where oh god, the cinematics are so crazy good. I love the look of these. One thing to note too is once you're actually watching a cinematic, you always want to watch it in full, because you actually do get bonus experience for watching the whole thing. That's how they get you. That's how they get you. I want to show you the cash shop after this as well, but yeah, essentially in the game, when you're doing like the PvP and stuff like that, you'll notice that that's a really good way to progress your character. That's a good way to get, you know, further gear and stuff like that. And there's different kinds of progression that you can get through PvP specifically, so that's a good thing to do at endgame. There's also a lot of dungeons that you can get into in instances, and the way you have to do them is you have to actually go physically find the NPCs to teleport inside of them. But I did do a dungeon recently with Mishka, and we actually did a level 25 one, which scaled up to level 56. But the mechanics and stuff like that in the dungeon is really impressive, to the point where like the game itself, I would put this up even higher than, you know, most traditional games when it comes to dungeons, because they have different mechanics in there where of course you have to, it's not, you know, that complex, but you have to stand on different platforms to activate the next stage. You have to lure bosses to each other to get them to attack each other instead of, you know, just trying to attack them outright. And then some you have to actually use different items and stuff like that to conquer down. But it's a pretty cool way that the dungeons are kind of set up, and we've only done one so far, but I'm looking forward to seeing what the other ones have in store, because from what I've seen, there's some really good ones that you can come across as well. You know what, speaking of their wonderful singing, there's this one scene in the game where a lady goes into a performance in the middle of this this bridge, I believe it is, and it is absolutely fantastic. She has a whole crowd watching her. It's one of my favorite scenes. I recorded that one as well. It's just absolutely sublime. I love it so much. And then one thing I want to show you afterwards is, yeah, like the cash shop. I want to take a look at that really quick, but there's so many different things that you're able to do in the game. It's kind of hard to scratch the surface right away. Like when you're doing dailies, those are the more relaxed activities where you can do escorts and things of that nature. It's mainly the escorts, like you're escorting the rich guy, or you're escorting the wagon with the reindeers on it, or deers. But also right now during this Christmas event, you're able to go do the tower defense. And what I love is they actually have what's called a survival mode, where you can actually go into this mode and it acts as like a survival sandbox. You immediately get a food, drink, and strength meter, and then you have to go out and hunt animals. You have to gather berries and plants and stuff like that. You can plant down seeds in any of the locations across the map, and you can teleport back to them if you find the right ones. And then what will happen is that you can actually build furnaces and all kinds of buildings and stuff like that. And then yeah, you can actually like live out there, and it's all persistent as well. So the spot that you find, you can just, you know, take that over. And as far as I saw, there wasn't any open world PvP in there, but I know there is an actual open world PvP system in this game. So that is something that you'll be, you know, come across at some point. There is faction war as well for those of you who like to do that kind of stuff, and the guilds that you join, they are faction related as well. If you want to bring up the guild menu, it's in, and you can take a look at all the guilds that we have here. Now there is a English guild that's going to be in the works for the server that we're on, but if you're looking on where to go to join the server, just join the Discord for Justice Online and we'll get you straightened out straight away. And the guild wars itself, there might be events and stuff like that that are tied to these. We haven't seen them yet, but there are, you know, specific guild wars that I've seen. There could be a territory system. That part we haven't really noticed too much yet, but the cash shop is one that I really want to show you. Now, I'm going to say up front, the cash shop is a really expensive endeavor. If you guys are wondering why that person that was worth, 1 point something million, had all that, and speaking of which, it wasn't actually, from what I read, it wasn't actually 1 point, something million USD. It was actually in Chinese yuan, which is actually translated to about USD wise about 140 something thousand. So it wasn't nearly as much as it was kind of played up to be. But one of the reasons is there's so many different costumes and mounts and different things that you can purchase in the cash shop. You can actually purchase cosmetics for your skills. So if you want your skill to look differently, you can actually purchase that from the cash shop, and it won't enhance the skill, but it'll give it a different look entirely is what it'll do. And once you click on one of these cosmetic options here, it'll bring it right up in the cash shop too. So these ones, just to put this into perspective, one of these mounts, like this one for instance, would probably cost you in USD around $130 something. So to put that in perspective, that's a crap ton of money. Now you can unlock mounts in game, like we talked about before. You can buy them with coins, or there might be something you can do with the horse stables. Not 100% sure there, but overall, yeah, obviously these mounts are crazy expensive, and a lot of the costumes are the same way. So if you find ones that are like 5,200, these ones are probably going to be around 60 to 70 plus dollars. And then these other ones, these ones are probably going to be about, anywhere from 30 to $45 kind of thing. But in terms of, pay to win and stuff like that, to be honest with you, it's incredibly hard to tell if, you'll find stuff in here that is pay to win. This is the tab right here that I think is probably one of those kinds of things where these items that you can purchase in here, that's using a specific type of coin. This one right here, which is a different currency than the overall cash shop one itself. But these are items that you'll find in the game that will help you with progression. Not to a huge amount, like they're like a slight boost, I would say. Like this one, I think is actually a gearbox. Let me buy that really quick and show you. So this one I just bought right here. That one, let me see if I can open it. It doesn't let me. There's probably some kind of prerequisite I gotta go. There may be a key I gotta find or something like that. But yeah, something like that might help you quite a bit for sure. And these is like furniture and stuff you can get for your household. But in terms of like overall pay to win, I'm not seeing a lot that I'd probably think of that as. Now there is a game time mechanic in this game because it is pay to play, but only after level 35. This is the menu right here in the cash shop where you can buy game time. Now the way that this works is that the 24 here, this is talking about hours. So 24 hours, 80 hours, 160 hours, and so on. These ones probably translate to about like 1,000 won is probably about, if I remember right, $16 USD. So 160 hours, that's probably going to last you like a whole, probably a whole 2 weeks plus. And you can actually get game time off of doing dailies as well. So once you're in that bracket, because it takes like, 4 hours max to get to 35 or so. By the time you're 40, you're already doing a bunch of daily quests. So you're not really going to have to worry about game time too much after that, as long as you're doing them, when you can. But yeah, overall, it's not too bad. But that is a mechanic though that's in the game, and it will only trickle down like when you're actually in the game. So if you're only spending like a couple hours a day or so, you won't have to worry about it too much. 160 hours could last you a whole month or more. But yep, overall, I wanted to show you guys that, and you can actually preview a lot of these different costumes. Now, a lot of these ones that you're seeing here, the ones that don't have price points on them, you can actually unlock in the game. You get these from dungeons where you can like earn token rewards to buy these and stuff like that. And I've seen the vendors and the costumes look amazing. Like all of these, there's a lot of different ones that you actually have to unlock and stuff like that, like this one. And the one that I have on, this is a quest-based one. Same thing with this one as well. Same thing with this one too. Yep, a lot of quest-based ones that you can get, and then a lot of ones that you can unlock through like achievements and vendors and dungeons and stuff like that. Let me place that one back on, please. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, but there's a lot of cool stuff you can get there, and there's also even like for the cash shop, there's different weapon effects and stuff like that that you can buy. Different skill effects, flying effects even. This is probably one that's considered the flying effect right there. I'd probably actually try that one day. There's also ethereal weapons that you can get that look like ghost skins or lightning weapons kind of thing. There's a lot of different variety when it comes to that too. But overall, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this game if you try it out. There's a lot to learn. I won't lie to you there. And because it is in Chinese, it's not actually being supported by an English patch right now. The last time someone tried it, they said that apparently after each patch, it kept breaking it, so they had to keep remaking it. So they didn't consider it that worth it. But hopefully in the future, it'll get some more support on that front, or maybe, you know, talk about being brought to the West. Because NetEase is the company that actually owns this, and they're already bringing a game to the West. It's actually already released on Steam called Nostos. Now this one is a survival game that I've been playing for a little bit now, and it had a very rocky start because it's a VR PC mixture where you're supposed to be able to play it in VR, but the VR part was really bad, like right off the bat, and it was a full release. It wasn't early access. If you release a game that's like in full release that's broken, it's going to get hit pretty hard. So that didn't help it at all, but it's doing a little bit better now, slowly over time. But hopefully that's a good sign that they're trying to bring games over to the West. But this one, I don't know if we'll see that for the next year or so, but we can only hope, because this is a genre that I think is a way ahead of its time. Like the Chinese games that they produce in the Eastern regions, like it's crazy how good they are compared to a lot of the modern stuff we'll see in the West. Most of the games that we've had released in the West anyway have been coming from the East. So honestly, this is a game that, and this is a series of games, like, because Moonlight Blade and Sword of Legends, those are games that people are still trying to get in the West. We really need to get these types of ones in the West here. But anyway, folks, that's my first impressions. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope I didn't miss anything. If I, whoops, didn't mean to break that. Everybody's day is ruined. Sweet. It's also got a lot of different destructible environments, which is hilarious. There's a lot of attention to detail in this game. I highly recommend you check it out. Oh my god. That was actually for a quest. That was actually for a quest. All right, mission abort. I'll see you guys later. Bye.